Hi, my name is Francesc Colom and I am a psychologist at the Bipolar Disorders program in Barcelona. One of my job interests is psychoeducation, or trying to provide the best programs for our patients to deal with the illness they suffer from. I am very happy to be here delivering one of the Equilibrium Videoblog series. What I want to share with you today is the need for a proper prophylaxis of the disorder, and I mean a proper prophylaxis of a newer episode. So in terms of identifying early warning signs of the disease, we could say that the sooner the better. But in order to do so, there are some tricks that we should be aware of. For instance, despite we all know, both from an academical and a scientific perspective, that both cognitions and emotions can be early warning signs of an episode. In the case of your daily use of psychoeducational resources, my advice would be to use particularly behaviors rather than emotions or cognitions. But let's first review the difference between emotion, cognition, behavior. Well, many of you may know that. A cognition, a thought, is basically what we think. An emotion is, well, I would say that it answers the question, how do you feel? Whilst behavior is what we do. So, of course, if I ask you, how do you feel? This question would be far more complicated to answer for many people than answering, for instance, what are you doing? Or what are you thinking of? So this is one of the reasons that I would advise you not to focus on emotions and rather focusing on behaviors itself. Another reason not to focus on emotion, and particularly for hypomania and mania, is that old reason that how good is too good. I mean, some of my patients come and ask me, shall I get concerned, shall I get worried when I'm very happy? And of course you don't. You don't have to be concerned or worry when you start feeling happy. Happiness and sadness are normal emotions that everyone has. And we should have. They are part of the, would say, the salt of the earth. I mean, they are part of our everyday life. So my advice would be to choose merely behaviors, and not any behavior, but very specific, small, very concrete behaviors. So, for instance, think of very simple things such as how many cigarettes do you smoke usually? If you smoke, how many cigarettes do you smoke usually? Perhaps you usually smoke, say, 7 to 10 cigarettes. Well, if one day you start smoking, say, 15 cigarettes, it might well be because you feel more anxious or at unease, or you feel with some kind of restlessness. So perhaps this is a signal that you are starting hypomanic episodes. Well, probably it's not, but please check. So for instance, another issue is how much do I spend per day? And say that your average is, I don't know, 20 pounds. So say that one day you start spending 40, 50 pounds. Of course, we all spend some days more money than others, but at the same time, it could be a signal that some change is going on. And the easiest one, perhaps, is the one that has to do with the sleeping time. I mean, there is a variation amongst individuals regarding the need for sleep, but normally, regularly, people would sleep between, say, 6, 9 hours. So say that you are one of those people that is sleeping regularly 7 to 8 hours, and one day, suddenly, you just sleep 5 hours and you feel alright when you wake up. Again, the fact of sleeping 5 hours, it might be an early warning sign of relapse. Of Of course, there is not a single early warning sign that per se would just be meaningful. And I want you to consider the combination of several early warning signs. So my advice would be write down a list with 10 behaviors that could be checked every day. I mean, behaviors, as I said, like smoking, spending money, the degree of energy, things like that, and then check it every day. If you tick 3 or more boxes, perhaps you're becoming hypomanic or you're becoming depressed. So probably not, because I want this list to be very subtle. I want this list to be very, say, sensitive. I want this list to be able to capture every new episode. And I know that the price we're going to pay is that we're going, of course, to generate some false alarms, but I don't care as long as we detect every new episode. So write this list, tick the boxes every day. Whenever you have 3 or more boxes ticked, I mean, you could share this idea with someone you trust. You could even call your therapist and see what's going on. This is just a very simple, small advice to start considering early warning signs. So I hope it's been of your interest and useful to you. Thanks.